My father, as I was telling you, always talked about freedom. Always did. 1961, he was giving a speech, Phoenix Chamber of Commerce. And he said this: freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it on to our children in the bloodstream. It must be fought for, protected, handed on for them to do the same. Or one day we will spend our sunset years telling our children and our children's children what it was once like in the United States where men were free. He said that in 1961. Now, that was March. August is what, 5 months later? So how quickly can one lose their freedom? How quickly? You think it takes a period of time to lose your freedom, maybe? In some cases, yes. But let me show you Berlin, Germany, August 12, 1961. Let's say you were students in Germany, August 12, 1961, you went to school. And you came home, and your mother met you at the door, and you say, "Hey, Mom, I'm going to go visit your sister, Aunt Sophie, tonight in East Berlin. We're going to have dinner and go to a movie." And your mother says to you, "Oh, honey, that's great. Say hello to my sister for me. I haven't seen her in a week. Say hello. If it gets to be too late, honey, spend the night." And you say, "Great. I'll do that, Mom. Goodbye." And you go visit Aunt Sophie in East Berlin the night of August 12, 1961. You go to a movie. It's a great movie. You have a nice dinner. You go back to Aunt Sophie's house. It's too late. You spend the night. You wake up the next morning. That's Berlin, August 13th, 1961. That's how quickly you can lose your freedom. Because at 1 a.m. the morning of August 13th, they brought in the barbed wire, they brought in the dogs, and they brought in the guards. And wherever you spent the night of August 13th, or August 12th, 1961, you were there till the Berlin Wall came down, unless you found a way to, in fact, escape. And many did. Many flew over the wall, they dug under the wall. Some of them jumped over the wall, jumped over the barbed wire. But that's what their life was like during that period of time. My father knew that later on also. When he saw that in August of 1961, he was appalled by it. And so he wanted to do everything he could to ensure freedom would come to that area of the world also. And because of his communication skills, he was also aware when he spoke, others were listening other than those just sitting in the front row. But that night happened to be the first time I'd ever seen my father lose. That night of August 1976. Never saw him lose. I mean, I grew up in a family in Beverly Hills. We had maids, we had cooks, we had a Cadillac circular driveway. You know, it was great. I'd never seen him lose. And I saw my dad lose for the first time. And I had to go to him and say, "Why did you even want to run for President of the United States?" That is the question that should be asked of everybody who ever wants to run for office. Why do you want to run? Because if they don't know the reason why, and it can't be, if you're running for president, "I want to beat Barack Obama." That's an easy answer. All of us, you know, who are Republicans or conservatives who don't want Barack Obama to be president can answer that. We should all run. No, you got to know why. And I remember being with my father, corner of a room, Kansas City, said, "Why did you want to become president?" And my dad said, "Michael," actually he said, "Well." I said, "Well, what, Will?" And I said, "Dad, well, what?" And he said, "Listen," he says, "I want to become president of the United States," he says, "because for so long I have sat and watched American presidents sit down with secretary generals of the Soviet Union." And he said, "Every time we sit down with them, they're always asking us to give up something to get along with them. And I've gotten tired of it. We're a superpower. Why is it we're always giving in to them and they never abide by anything they sign on to?" And he said, "I wanted to be nominated tonight, win the election in November, go on to be president so I could sit down with the Secretary General of the Soviet Union, and Michael, I was going to let him pick the room, the place, the table, the chairs, because, you know, that's how they do those things. And while he was telling me, the Secretary General, what it was I was going to have to give up to get along with them, I was actually going to get up from my table, my chair, walk around the other side of the table, lean over and whisper in his ear, Nyet. I want to be the first president to say Nyet to a Secretary General of the Soviet Union. I want to stand up and say Nyet. That's it. Not going to happen.